What's up guys, Bloodshed here, bringing you the Lost Time Bomb Speed Necromancer build for Diablo 3 patch 2.6 and season 11. Now people have been asking me for weeks, Blood, please make us a explosive blast speed build with Inarius. One of the first builds I ever made on the PTR was a Inarius corpse explosion build, and that was our push build. It's still there, you can check it out. I'll put a master link in the description below. But yeah, this is what we came up with. It has infinite CC, basically, lots of mobility and lots of survivability. That's key, especially to someone like me who is streaming, or if you guys are watching, TV or Netflix on your second monitor or whatever. It's kind of like a AFK kind of build, and where you can kind of chill and not have to micromanage it so much. There's no number locking or anything like that involved. It's pretty much just like run around, use your golem, use Land of the Dead, blow shit up. But we did add a lot of unique differences to the build, and we'll go ahead and go through them right now. If you look at the Necromancer, you'll notice there's a bone storm around my character, right? That's from the Inarius set. That bone storm actually procs things like Myrne and Gogok of Swiftness, and that's super important. It also stacks like Stricken and Pain Enhancer, but I'm still using Myrne in this build. The thing about Corpse Explosion and having a permanent AoE, the Bone Storm, around your character, is it does proc a lot of Myrne. Now, it's not nearly as much as before, but for speeds, it's still pretty good for speeds. So I actually use Myrne in the build still. I'm also using a Bane of the Trapped and a Molten Wild Beast Gizzard. Now, you can swap out. This is like your free legendary gem slot. You can swap it out for Powerful, Gogok, SO, whatever gem you want. It's literally open. You can drop Dainties, Binding Belt, because we're dropping Decrepifies everywhere. And you can add Boon of the Hoarder Gold Wrap, and then you can swap out Decrepify for like Frailty or a Frailty or whatever you want. Okay, so that's something that you could do. It's kind of like this build's always a work in progress. I always keep my Diablo fan builds updated. If you see any builds for other classes, they're updated since there was no patch this season. So all the season 10 stuff is still up to date since literally nothing changed. Anyway, I'm using Brig's Wrath. What it does is the first time an enemy is cursed, it pulls them all on a target location, like on a single pixel all together. So it's kind of cool. You pull them together, blow them up with Corpse Explosion. I would definitely recommend this if you have it. It's a really rare ring to get, especially early season. You might not get it. If you don't get it, or your team comp, it's kind of a weird with your team comp if you guys are running speeds or whatever. I would swap in Convention of Elements or Stone of Jordan just for the raw damage. If for some reason you're taking a lot of damage, you can always use like Lornell's or something like that just for more survivability, or Unity if you're solo. For bracers, Strong Arms. So when you pull them together with Briggs, it's actually causing a knockback, and it procs a 6-second debuff on them. They take 28% up to 30% increased damage, and that's affected by your whole party, so your whole party gets buffed by using it. If you don't have Strong Arms or whatever, you can always swap in Nemesis Bracers. That's a good alternate. Or if everyone on your team has Nems, you can always take off Strong Arms if you don't need the extra damage and use Nems. It's all kind of interchangeable depending on your situation. And then Parthens does stun enemies, so you can always use that since we're stunning like crazy. Every single Corpse Explosion stuns for 2 seconds. A freeze is a stun, same thing. It's gonna proc your Parthens. So yeah, it's like we're always procking Crispin's Ring. Where is it? Crispin's Ring. We're always procking Crispin's Ring regardless. In the testing, I only used 800 Paragon, Grasp of Essence, boost your explosive blast, your Corpse Explosion damage by 100%, stacking 5 times. So that's a must-have in a Corpse Explosion build. Ingeom is what's making our Blood Rush have essentially no cooldown after we kill an elite pack. Trigul does up to 200% increased damage against cursed enemies. So just make sure, we're casting Curse anyway to group them, just make sure things are cursed, that way we're getting that extra damage increase. And using Briggs, I noticed it's easy not to be lazy, right? Because it groups them together, so it's easy to not be lazy with as you're porting around. You have to drop this to group them anyway, and then they're cursed, and you're going to do increased damage to them. So it's very synergistic the way it all plays together. Of course, you're probably familiar with the Lost Time. It's one of my favorite Necromancer items. It's a stacking movement speed increase. This is what I think Whirlwind Barbarians should have built into their kit. Every time you Whirlwind, you gain a stack of whatever, and it increases your movement speed. Like Whirlwind Barbs should have this, but Necromancers have it, so Bone Armor is going to give you a lot of survivability with the Inarius set, actually more than you would think. We're also using a Wisdom of Kalan in the cube, and that's going to give us 5 more stacks of Bone Armor. The Johnstone is going to give us lots of damage outside of Land of the Dead. So when you use Land of the Dead and you use a Corpse Explosion, you can see the stacking on the bottom. We're going to do super duper increased damage to enemies with Corpse Explosion outside of Land of the Dead. So there you go, that's what that's for. We're only getting essence back by using Dark Reaping. So don't use the Ingeom, but make sure you're using a Trigul's Fang. That's the only way it's going to proc. You have to be holding a scythe to proc Dark Reaping. So this is the only way we have to get essence back. And essentially essence is a non-problem if you use the passive. So don't change the passive at all. This is giving us lower cooldown on our Golem. A cheat death, but you can swap this out for anything. If they ever fix Fueled by Death, this is probably the passive I'll use. But yeah, Spreading Malediction, since we're dropping curses everywhere anyway, grouping them up, they're going to be taking increased damage. This is a really good passive. Blood Rush, I like Molting because it leaves a corpse behind, so you can use it later for a Corpse Explosion. But that's pretty much the gameplay. Drop a curse, jump in, use the Golem to summon corpses. That should do it. You go to the next one, summon Land of the Dead, blow up a lot of things, right? Make sure you keep up Bone Armor. Pretty simple gameplay, straightforward. And you're really tanky. You're really tanky. I think you're doing so much crowd control. The freeze rune, you know, make sure you stack cold damage. The freeze rune not only is proccing our lost time for speed, it's also stunning for 2 seconds. So we're gonna permanently freezing, stunning. I feel like you never get hit, and you're grouping them with Briggs. It's a nice way to crowd control and have like passive resistances. I don't know. I like the build a lot. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You'll be seeing a lot of videos getting blasted out before the season starts from me. Big shout out to my Twitch subs. Big shout out to the Patreon bros out there for supporting me and my content. I really just make these videos for you guys, whatever I think is effective, fast, and something you can pick up easily and learn. But anyways, this is the Bluddshed. Follow me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. And I'm out of here. Peace.